before without a G2 or a Fnatic, but it's within touching distance for both these two teams.
Armut into two! It is Rogue falling down in the final moments. Mad Lions may end it right here.
Armut Star solidifies the win. It's the nail in the coffin. The wave's there. Mad Lions are going to win.
So at the start of the split, I didn't really expect to be first place for sure. But after a while, it became kind of clear that we could actually fight for the first place.
My ambition changed to a lot higher level because I see what I'm capable of now.
The Mad Lions were able to capitalize on it and get themselves a kill. Ghost now booted up, flash forward from Kaiser, they're looking for him. Kai'Sa blows the land with Glacial Fissure as well, and Ghost is down.
Looking to line it up, Elyoya! What an equalizer there is!
He's found the flank of the Mad Lions. Are looking to take down RNG. What a turnaround.
I actually am excited to face Bwipo because everyone is already speculating, oh, this is going to be bad, this is going to be good. I don't think we can ever know until we see it.
Whilst Elyoya is not a name that makes me go like, this guy is insane individually, he's obviously very good at playing together with his team, so very respectable opponent. The most interesting about the start of the split for me this year around is that no one knows what I'm coming out with, but I expect to come out swinging because
Bwipo flashes forward. Bwipo going in.
I know what's up.
I personally think that Bwipo is gonna be like the top jungler in the league. After Elyoya, of course, and Inspired. And self-made most likely.
This is heartbreaking for C9. They're so close, but they just get outplayed at every opportunity. Say it with me. Elyoya, Elyoya, Elyoya.
I think that Bwipo and Hyli will for sure be dangerous because they are not scared.
Me and Hylissang are no longer in a long-distance relationship. It's me and Hilly against the world.
Last split, we were doing many things wrong, and when it came to being on the same page, we were not. I think that would be the difference between this split Fnatic and the previous one.
40 seconds into the game, but Genx, maybe he can turn it back to flash away from Hylissang. Genx trying to finish the job, but Genx, will he go down as well? It looks like it. Upset doesn't even need the lane phase to start before he starts putting kills on the board. Bwipo gets one, Upset gets one. Jezu, disaster for SK.
Like, it needs to happen, like, they will make it happen for sure. It's for sure gonna be something like scary. They either go like, I think it really goes either really bad or like really well.
Maybe the supremacy like is no longer for Fnatic or G2s, and I think it's a good way for us, maybe Fnatic, to prove that we can become what we used to be, which means the best.
I don't know what to expect, but I think it's gonna be a bloodbath with a lot of fighting.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Analyst Desk for the match of the week. The first match of the week of the summer season in the LEC, and it is Fnatic versus the Mad Lions. We here at the desk will also cover the picks and bans, but not before we introduce you to, I think, one of the highlights of this match, which will be in the jungle.
Me.
But yes, also you, Ender, but also the jungle. Bwipo versus Elyoya, a rookie who then made a name for himself and continued that at MSI, versus Bwipo, who has now swapped to the jungle. Let's start with Bwipo and his first game yesterday. Guldborg, what were the marks you want to give him?
Yeah, you just gotta praise him. I think he was one of the most stable players we saw from Fnatic yesterday in the jungle, which was really surprising. He had a great early game, and I think in general, when it came down to Fnatic's team fighting at the later stages or the setups from the other teammates, I think that's where it generally went wrong. It just felt like Fnatic wasn't on the same page going into yesterday's games.
But in the early game, it did work out, Ender. Sorry, the remote.
It did. No, it really did work out, right? Bwipo was able to make a couple of ganks work, even teaming up with Hylissang to make some plays happen, but you're absolutely right. Misfits were able to find some avenues to get around, but not before Bwipo was able to win out pretty big. There was even this fight here. He runs away with the triple kill of all things, maybe inflating the KD. It wasn't like all 6 kills came away from early game ganks, but he was super solid for the team. But some of the issues that plagued Fnatic in spring, taking fights that weren't optimal and misplaying in those team fights, that's where they dropped the ball and where their big challenge is facing against Mad Lions, who were the best team fighting team in the spring split.
Yeah, I think that's a great observation as we see the thumbs down coming in possibly for the Mad Lions from Bwipo, but that is true. Those were the issues that they struggled with throughout spring, that decision making. And it is a bit concerning that that didn't necessarily fix itself, but then you gotta say, we have a role swap coming in from Bwipo, and we have a younger player in the top lane. So you can expect that there is some rust on that.
I definitely expect that in general this split is going to have a bit of a slow start, really. We need to get these guys to gel together. New, what do you say, new role coming in, of course, and Adam up in that top side. Yesterday, not the best kind of games, and now he's going up against Armut, who did really well at the MSI.
And we then also have to talk about Elyoya, of course, and this guy has, in such a short amount of time, been able to build up so much. It's not Schalke 04 versus G2, it is in fact Fnatic versus the MAD Lions, but he has been able to build up so much in such a short amount of time. Do you think he's going to be equipped to deal with Bwipo as we go into these picks and bans?
The better question is Bwipo equipped to deal with Elyoya, because Elyoya was definitely the #2 jungler last split, right behind Inspired. That final so close between the two teams. And honestly, if I'm looking at MAD Lions and their strategy coming into this, I kind of want to see them have a level 1 prepared, throw Bwipo off his rhythm, throw him off his game, because that's exactly where Elyoya can shine. Now, both of these junglers went for the Rumble yesterday, which has a pretty weak level 1, so I'm wondering if MAD Lions decide to leave that open, whether or not they first pick it or let Bwipo get his hands on that one.
Yeah, and as for taking a look onto the bans, it's much like yesterday. Fnatic, one of the only teams we really saw ban Gwen on blue side. So, of course, that's going to come in through on the red side as well. And yesterday as well, they heavy targeted the enemy AD carries, banning the Gwen, banning the Varus, and the last ban was actually the Ezreal. I wonder if that was just a thing due to the nature of Kobe, or is that just in general their thoughts upon the current meta right now.
Yeah, well, it would make sense to ban this Ezreal if you look at last split, right? Upset and Hylissang, they got so many kills down on that bottom side of the map. So, well, maybe you don't want to actually deal with a more defensive AD carry that can get away. Maybe you want to increase the volatility, but that Renekton's been left open, and Armut's going to go for that.
Yeah, and that's just great for them. Renekton, one of the S-tier champions we have right now, just because he does so well into the other AD champions. There is Lee Sin, one of his counter matchups is the Renekton. But you mentioned it earlier, and I do expect a Rumble to come through in this second pick here, either pairing it up with a solo lane themselves as an answer into the Renekton, or an other AD lane as well. But no, it's actually going to be a completely different pivot here from the side of Fnatic. Insta-locking the Orianna, a champion that had very hard presence due to MSI and before that as well, but actually being first picked here where we don't currently see it as often in this meta.
Yeah, I mean, we know Nisqy is a very strong Orianna player, but clearly they didn't want to go for the Rumble. They wanted to put Bwipo on something with a little bit more early influence with that Udyr. So they've got Orianna to make sure their team fighting can be strong, the Udyr now to have a more early fighting style up against Elyoya, of course, can get through the jungle very quickly too. But they're going to face a challenge here because presumably MAD Lions are going to be locking in a strong early game jungler next to something like that Renekton. And now with the Kai'Sa, you're looking at a very powerful 2v2 bot lane all-in if they put a melee all-in engage support next to it.
And question is what that really is going to be. There's still a lot of tools for you if you want to get in for that, what do you say, counter matchup here as a support, but you could also just counter pick the Orianna now before you go to the second kind of ban phase. And I'm also looking towards the other AD carries that's going to be available for Fnatic now, because Kaiser has been locked in, the likes of Tristana, the likes of Ezreal are still up. I'm thinking if you don't pick it here, it might be trimmed down during the second ban phase, so you're kind of left with the option, are we going for that AD carry here, or do we feel like we need to counter pick the Leona right now before we go into second ban phase?
Oh yes, it's going to be the Olaf here for Adam in the top lane. I was just about to ask, like, wait a second, they've blind picked their mid laner in the first rotation. They're already showing a jungler. Do we see a Darius? Do we see one of those pocket picks come out? Guldborg, tell me about Adam's Olaf.
I'm so glad you threw it to me, because I was so hyped when I saw that pick as well. And his Olaf has been absolutely famous throughout the LFL, and he absolutely stomped it with the correct resources being put into him. But also, Geo Masters, he was also playing weak side Olaf, where he would just get the agency for himself to get the individual lead onto this Olaf, and then just help the other side of the map actually get a lead as well. So I love seeing this from Adam. I'm hoping he get the resources he deserves as well, because already now you have the Orianna, you have the fast clear and the Udyr. That's a lot of what do you say, roam potential here for these champions.
Oh yeah, and such a confidence move too, I think, from Adam. Not only is he locking in that pocket Olaf in the top lane, he's saying, we'll leave the Renekton open. I don't care about it. This champion's banned pretty much all across the world. Fnatic leave that up, and that's exactly what Adam can go for on the top side. Now this comes with another benefit, which is of course holding on to those bot lane picks. They already know the bot lane matchup they're going to be facing into, and there haven't been too many AD carry bans getting targeted away from this. Knowing there is going to be that heavy all though, what are we expecting? Because we saw that tank Kog'Maw earlier today. It could very well be that, and if you put a Lulu there with an Olaf that already has an Orianna shield, that's looking pretty nasty.
There's so much value in general. Yes, the Olaf movement speed. You can also speed up the Udyr as well. There's this disengage. You also have this safety net for this Kog'Maw as well. So Fnatic really shaping up with their stylistic as the team here. But the question is, what are the responses going to be from the side of MAD Lions? Already, right now, you have a lot of backline agency with the Kaiser. Renekton can also get in the Volibear as well. Now Leona, all this screams to me is we want to dive. So they are hovering a few different champions now. I don't expect something to be locked in, but what I am expecting is something to follow along this backline dive that we could see from MAD Lions. So Humanoid's Akali would be absolutely perfect, a champion he's known for as well.
I love it. The backline dive and also the dive in the laning phase. Crashing waves looking for dives. That is Elyoya's signature move when he's on this Volibear that can shut off towers. The Lulu has been locked in next to the Kog'Maw, so strong scaling bot lane there. We already said the Lulu plus Orianna plus Olaf is a menace later on, but can Elyoya get his Volibear down in the bot lane after that level 6 mark? He did it in finals last split. He did it at MSI. Now he's going to have to do it against Fnatic.
And I love the stylistics between the... Yes, we talked about the backline dive from the side of MAD Lions, but you also have good kite back potential from the side of Fnatic. You may look at Olaf, you may look at the Udyr and be like, we want to run forward. But with the Orianna, with the Lulu, with the Kog'Maw in the late game, you have some pretty good facilitation for yourself there to get that Kog'Maw online when you kite back the big engage coming through from MAD Lions.
Yeah, did we lose Ender? I don't know if we did. But in any case, very interesting lineups on both sides. I'm very excited to see kind of both teams plays to their strength and possibly seeing a different look out of Fnatic, knowing that now they are going to have to go up into that top lane, right? They're going to have to try and help Adam out a little bit because he got stuck on that weak side Viego yesterday, and that didn't work out. Fantastic lineups, fantastic drafts for our match of the week. MAD Lions versus Fnatic.
Thank you very much, Sjokz, Ender, and Guldborg. Getting ready now to get into our match of the week, MAD versus Fnatic. Of course, bringing the cast, it's none other than me. Hi, I'm Drakos, and my good buddy, Caedrel.
Hello.
Best Lee Sin on the server. Shame the champion's not a very good jungler right now. That's okay.
That's a fact. But this game, there's no Lee Sin, unfortunately. But we do have a Kog'Maw Lulu in the hands of Upset and Hylissang. And we saw Neon and Limit piloting that last game. Obviously, they won. We're struggling a little bit with the mobile champions against things like the Rumble Leona. But now, this is a different game. We'll see what they can do with it. There's a lot of dive on their team with the Udyr Olaf, but the Orianna can peel with the shield as well. So this Kog'Maw is sitting happy, and he has the Halo Blade. So early trading should be a little bit easier.
Yep. And Upset, this is kind of the standard for what he runs in solo queue. Halo Blades with the Resolve secondary, as we now see a bit of trading here between Humanoid and Nisqy. I like it. Aggressive level 1 from the Akali, but if she gets those passive procs in, it's very Akali favored.
Yeah, this really benefits Humanoid. You can never really gap close level 1 in the lane phase itself, but if you can get a face check like that with the Conqueror, you can chunk out the Orianna. So the Orianna should still have push, but that definitely helps out the lane phase early. Has the TP as well and the Doran shield, so it's just basically holding on in the early stages. Level 6, he can look for kills. I mean, Doinby's Akali is something that comes to mind when he's diving Oriannas and actually manages to get kills himself. So we'll see what Humanoid can do with this, but Humanoid actually played this champion a lot in the last couple of years. He's one of the most known for champions for himself.
Yeah. And of course, when we look at Humanoid in general, I mean, he's a player that certainly has been stepping up. He had some solid moments in the game yesterday, even though it was ultimately a loss, but Humanoid overall, a solid Akali player, and whenever he has mobility, it feels like it's looking pretty good. And you can see in general, while Humanoid has yet to play the Akali so far this season, it has just come back into meta. In general, it has been a very solid champion, 2/3 win rate, 6 games played. And what we've seen is if you go late enough in the game, Akali will kill your backline.
Yeah, we've seen Nuclear do it, we've seen VTO do it. Let's see if we can see Humanoid do it. Now, Kaiser did go aggressive on that bot side and proc the Aftershock. He wasn't level 2 just yet, so Hylissang was absolutely fine. And the Kog'Maw Lulu will stack waves because they're both range champions. And Leona can't really unlock herself in this lane until around level 2, level 3 if her jungler is towards the bot side. But in this case, the jungler is towards the bot side. Elyoya just finishing up the red, a little bit slower than Bwipo obviously on the Udyr, which farms faster, but both junglers pathing to the same crab. Fnatic have mid push and they have bot push, so they should be able to secure this bot lane crab for Bwipo. Elyoya needs to be careful he doesn't get double crabbed. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go towards the top side now and just abandon bot lane just to make sure he can get that scuttle crab.
And after that initial trade, mid lane has at least for now returned to a little bit of an Orianna favored matchup, as you mentioned. Hard for Humanoid to close the gap, but I think there's so many different lanes worth talking about, and that's amplified by the fact that Armut has this Renekton, a champion that's pretty much exclusively been permabanned. Adam gets his hands on the Olaf. Before we talk about Adam on Olaf, I do want to again shift attention to the junglers. Elyoya, obviously the rising star of this league, but Bwipo, the new kid on the block, something I never thought we'd say about Bwipo again, but after his Rumble performance yesterday, we're definitely looking at him as a pretty solid jungler.
Yeah, Guldborg said it on the desk. He had a really fantastic early game, I have to agree. Some of the Rumble equalizers were a bit off in the mid to late game. I had to dodge them on the caster desk when we were casting the game because they were missing quite heavily. But on the Udyr, a lot of an easier job. Obviously, the early ultimates on the Rumble were pretty good, but now he's on the Udyr. We'll see what he can do. Second game of jungle ever. So now he's just going to full clear his camps. That's what Udyr naturally does. Humanoid TPing back mid. Both junglers have reset and they're clearing their camps, but Bwipo picked up a Dark Seal, so maybe we get to see a Magi's Udyr this game.
You respect the confidence, and again, he did have a fantastic start in the previous game, so he certainly could get some stacks as he now shifts his attention to the top side. We'll see if he can pull off a gank here. For now, Renekton certainly has the push. You can see Adam trying to trade back a little bit. The longer these trades go, the more you have to feel it favors the Olaf, the additional healing, the additional attack speed. But in these quick trades, very hard for Adam to do anything pre-level 6.
Yeah, it's a very slow early game in a sense because, I mean, both junglers can look for plays, but it feels like Fnatic just have the push in bot, Mad Lions just have the push in top, and mid lane Humanoid is just holding on for now. So both junglers just kind of power farming at the moment. I think the second crab respawn might be a point of contention, or when the dragon's up. So have to keep our eye on that. Also, the 8-minute mark is when teams like to get active. When the Herald's up, if they have the bot lane push, what they like to do is just push it in, have their jungler hover around just in case they get ganked, and then they base together and move towards the top side for a committed lane swap. And on things like Kog'Maw Lulu, like we saw Sjokz do last game with Neon, getting that Herald, getting out of lane and getting plates for the Kog'Maw is so crucial because I think that when that champion's ahead, it's so important towards the mid to late game stages. If you can get him accelerated in the early game, that definitely benefits you.
And part of the reason that was very possible for Sjokz was because of the massive individual lead that Broken Blade put together. The question now is, can Armut do the same? But instead, we're going to shift focus to the bot lane. Bit of an awkward move there, as the Shield of Daybreak does go onto a minion, but the flash forward from Kaiser, he's got the cooldown up in time. Elyoya now moving in, Hylissang backing off, but he's got a bit of a shield. Hylissang not quite going down, holding on as Bwipo now returns to the bottom lane. It's a TP coming in as well from Nisqy in the mid lane, as Adam's gonna get a solo bolo on the top side. 1v1 traded back from the side of Mad.
Wow, Upset played that fantastically. Maybe no one actually saw that, but what he did was, as he was auto-attack spacing, he ran forwards and blocked the Kaiser W from Carzzy, which kept Hylissang alive. They win the fight in bot. Adam kills Armut in a dive, I think that was, level 6 to level 5, because Armut just leveled up, so I would love to see the replay of that. But I want to highlight Upset in that play, moving forwards to block the W from Carzzy to keep Hylissang alive. And that engage, I think Hylissang, the reason he stepped forwards, because Kaiser stunned the creep, and then he got a little bit too cocky. They wanted to punish it because Elyoya was around. In the end, it backfires.
And again, these are two of the most aggressive bot lanes that we have in the LEC. Upset Hylissang were known for just going in constantly last split. Carzzy and Kaiser, it was no different. The regular season a bit rough, but obviously they turned it around in playoffs and in MSI. As Armut now wants a little bit of revenge here. It's ulti versus ulti. Olaf on stop, but does he have enough stats? It looks like he most certainly does. Armut maybe not ready for this one. Oh, the whole team is on the way in, but man, Adam back to back on the solo bolos, walking back under the tower. Elyoya taking some damage. Bwipo on the way in, but Bwipo may have stayed around too long. The leap back in, Bwipo turns for the stun. Kaiser taking the tower. Bear stance, not available quite yet. The Phoenix not going to be enough damage, and double kill for Humanoid is bad news for Fnatic.
And look at that wave that Adam loses. Luckily he has the TP, so he's going to be able to pick it up, but Adam actually got the best of that situation. He was going to get dove. There was 3 members of Mad Lions around the top side, and the wave was stacking. He actually just goes for the all-in onto Armut. He gets the kill, gets a one-on-one kill. He can TP back and collect the wave. Bwipo was the one who tried to salvage the play. I think he was looking for Elyoya on the backside. So let's take a look at this. This is the initial first 1v1. I think Adam just gets, he doesn't even get level 6. He just trades really aggressively onto Armut, who gets hit by the Q. I'm guessing the flash is a little bit late, because Adam can follow. He does end up getting the kill. I believe he has Triumph as well, but that doesn't actually save him.
But well played by Adam. Obviously, one of the few people who probably knows the limits of top lane Olaf, and no surprise when you look at his LFL record. Man, very comfortable on the pick, 5-0, incredible damage, very high K+A. I thought it might have been because of jungle support as someone who didn't watch the LFL the whole time, but it's honestly looking a lot more like solos across the board as he managed to find 2 here, not even 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, very powerful laner Olaf, especially against melee bruisers like the Renekton. Level 6 should win out as well, but he's got those plated steel caps, so that'll help him in the ganks. He's going to have the Ragnarok up as well, so it's going to be very difficult to actually gank him on the top side. Humanoid's going aggressive in mid onto Nisqy. Doesn't have the ultimate though, and Nisqy has both summoners, so that'll be a bit tricky to execute. But the thing is here is that Kaiser still has no flash, so I wonder if Bwipo is going to move his way down there. Hang on a second, Nisqy going aggressive.
Stepping forward, doesn't have a whole ton of mana left, but just trying to keep this trade going. But Humanoid just got ultimate back. Now with no ultimate available, Nisqy going to burn the heal. Shuriken Flip doesn't connect, and Humanoid just going for some fancy footwork there to get down a bit more poke. Difference though, Energy Champion, he can keep the push going, while Nisqy maybe going to try to pick up a blue buff here. Well timed by Bwipo to donate this one over. It means Nisqy can stay in lane if he needs to.
Yeah, that'll help him out. I mean, you can trade aggressively onto Humanoid, will have the mana to do so. And I'm guessing Humanoid just going to push in that mid-wave and base. Gets his heal in the end. But Nisqy has Spellbook, so he can actually transform that into a different summoner spell. Maybe things like the Exhaust or Barrier. So the 1v1s, I believe Humanoid should have the advantage, but Nisqy can opt into defensive summoners to actually protect himself. And Adam still has the push in top lane. Both neutral objectives are up. Both junglers are just kind of power farming right now. Elyoya going for the Sheen. Obviously going towards a Divine Sunder build.
Yeah, and if we haven't said enough, it's been buffed on the patch. Olaf, obviously a fantastic user of the item, and in general just makes the pick better. When you saw Volibear rather previously at MSI, he was one of the more fringe jungle options. He pretty much had to perma-gank to stay ahead of the more conventional options. Maybe with Divine Sunderer, he can scale a bit more comfortably. As Adam could be in trouble. No mana here is going to be the big issue.
No flash either.
Ragnarok available, though, means he can make it out to safety. Just going to walk away on this one, throw back an axe, and get back under tower. But look like Armut's done. They know that the ultimate is gone. Dragon has already been taken. Adam is trying to one-shot the wave to make sure that he can punish on this one, but it should be an easy dive for Mad Lions. Adam going down, Mad walking out unscathed.
Yeah, the problem Adam's having here is his mid laner hasn't got really that much agency in the early stages of the game. Humanoid can just give up waves and move towards topside. Very heavy skirmisher Akali once she's got the ultimate, whereas Orianna, against things like Renekton, Volibear, Akali, she can't really face check or look for early fights. She wants to scale and get 1 or 2 items. And Bwipo's playing bot side, so Adam's stuck in a 1v3, but now they can make a cross-map play.
Forward. Ghost coming in for Bwipo. Important to note here, he zooms in on that one, but the lockup is there. Bwipo now going to be in trouble. One more auto is going to seal the deal on the kill. They're going to grab some plates as well, but Bwipo maybe not too happy about going down there because it does mean giving up the Herald to Elyoya on the top side.
Yeah, 1-for-1 is not what you want there because Elyoya is getting the Herald on the top side. They can probably Herald that top tower whenever they want as well and take that one down. So Adam, despite winning lane, is suffering a little bit here by the mid-jungle of Mad Lions. Mad Lions luckily able to trade 1-for-1 there on the bot side dive. Hylissang had the heal, but I think Bwipo was going to die to the tower shot damage regardless. And they're going to pick up a couple plates for themselves at least.
And of course the struggle of taking Ghost as the summoner spell instead of the flash is obviously very easy to stick on targets, very easy to get in range of targets, but when you need to do something like drop tower aggro very quickly, definitely not easy. Dodge the Leona also relatively difficult. That said, as much as the pressure has been in favor of Humanoid in the mid lane, Nisqy has been building up a decent CS lead, so maybe that starts to shift a bit more in his favor or in the fights to come if he can get some items under his belt.
Yeah, both mid laners have TP, so they can get to any play when it kicks off. Humanoid probably wants to roam around the map a little bit more, but you can see Bwipo now towards the top side. Both neutrals are dead. His bot lane is slightly ahead, but Adam, after winning lane, is actually suffering a little bit, but he's going to be here to help him now. Going to help him crash this top wave, make sure he doesn't get ganked. I don't think they can look for a dive. Bwipo doesn't think so either. And they're going to get a little bit of vision. Humanoid, you can see, dropping up a mid-wave and already moving up river. See if he can help Armut secure Adam.
But it looks like both teams are thinking that they're the one collapsing on the other. It's Bwipo now moving into Humanoid.
Upset Hylissang on the way as well through mid lane, so Humanoid needs to be careful here.
Leap back with a Shuriken Flip. Bwipo going to be forced to back away. So neither side really going to find much of anything on that exchange, but a lot of movement from both teams. Upset now in the mid lane. You can see Carzzy in the bot lane getting the free boots means that he can immediately go for the Kraken Slayer, and if he's left alone on the bottom side, he can do some work on that tower.
Yeah, and they have the Herald for this bot tower as well, so Fnatic need to get back there ASAP. They don't have that much vision to work with. Don't think Elyoya got spotted by that vision plant. Carzzy stepping up a little bit here and focusing on the spot tower. If they can't get anything for it, then they can just push in the mid and move towards, push in the wave, sorry, and move towards mid. But the key thing here is the Kog'Maw Lulu are stuck on a tower without any vision, so Bwipo needs to bail them out a bit. And instead of going towards bot, they're moving towards mid, but luckily Fnatic have a lot of vision.
A ton of vision around that mid lane. Not sure if they spotted Kaiser, but they certainly spotted Elyoya. as the duo, and Herald has to be the big thing on Fnatic's mind. It is running out of time. Elyoya needs to use it soon.
Here we go.
To do so. TP now coming out on the bottom side of the map. Flash over the wall from Hylissang. Bwipo's going to be in trouble. That's the stun. Bwipo now locked up, trying to run for his life. Lulu can't save him on this one. Heal coming out. Bwipo trying to make it to safety. Bear stance might just be enough. Now they're now leaping in, but Humanoid's going to finish the kill. Upset has no room to maneuver in this one. The cleanse comes out, but it looks like it might be too little too late. That's the stun. Elyoya going to grab that one. Hylissang is in trouble. That is the double kill for Elyoya. Perfect stopwatch from Kaiser to make it out to safety.
Yeah, the stopwatch saves Kaiser from the Kog'Maw passive, and the tower very nearly went down there, but the play was good from MAD Lions. They just instantly pulled the trigger. Fnatic didn't have vision around the bot side river, but they had vision around mid, so they knew that MAD Lions were around here, but they didn't know where. The second they spotted them, MAD Lions are already engaging onto them, and Fnatic are way too split up. Upset's trying to catch the wave, and crucially, it's just a 3v1 onto Bwipo. He does fall, Humanoid gets out, and then they go for the full-on dive. MAD Lions obviously able to tank it up with the Volibear and the stopwatch from Kaiser. If he didn't have that, he definitely would have died.
Maybe you see in the picture-in-picture there on the bottom corner of your screen. In the meantime, right after that fight, Carzzy grabs a ton of gold there from the plates and from the Herald charge as well. Things turning out incredibly good for MAD Lions. We went from just about a dead-even game to a 3K gold lead for the MAD Lions, and you can see in that bot lane, 1K lead for a Kai'Sa. That's going to be a big deal, especially when she's already level 9, max rank on the Acathian Rain, and can have the Evolve as well if she wants to buy the AD, and she certainly does.
Yeah, the mid-jungle of MAD Lions. Really strong right now. Ahead in XP, ahead in items. They have Mythics already picked up. And Bwipo is a little bit behind on this Udyr. Carzzy on the Kai'Sa obviously far ahead as well, level up. Armut also level up. So MAD Lions definitely quite far ahead in this early game here. 20 seconds on the Drake. I presume they're going to try and secure that to deny Fnatic any chance of a soul. But it will still be around 25 to 30 minutes before they can pick up one of their own.
I think one of the big struggles in this game is going to be if Adam potentially falls behind in this one. You can see Stridebreaker for Armut, despite the early advantages for the Olaf. The Renekton has been pulling ahead because as much as he would love, I'm sure, to free hit an Akali or a Kai'Sa, they both have really strong maneuvering tools to just get away from him and get around a team fight. So have to see if Fnatic can make this one work, where they want to put their defensive buffs, whether it's into the Kog'Maw or into the Olaf, but for now, MAD Lions gonna grab a Drake uncontested, tie it up 1-for-1.
Stepping too far forward.
Trouble. That's gonna be the Wild. Go tries to buy himself a little bit of space, but he's gonna go down before the fight even starts. Now it's Bwipo caught out as well. This is disaster for Fnatic. MAD just eating them alive. They had no reason to be there.
I'm really not sure why Hylissang was stepping up so far against the Renekton Volibear without flash. Maybe he was trying to get a little bit of information there, but he gets punished for it. Bwipo tries to save him, he falls as well. So another 2 kills from MAD Lions. Elyoya has the ultimate if he wants to disable this tower.
Carzzy can now step forward. That's big damage coming in. Goes golden, buys a bit more time, but Elyoya's here. Elyoya has the flash as well. Are they going to commit? Adam in the midst of everything. Carzzy goes in, but he doesn't get it. Nisqy holding on to his life for now. Adam now potentially on the chase here, but the axe will not connect. That's bad news for the MAD Lions.
Yeah, Humanoid was pushing top and Armut was pushing bot. Humanoid didn't have TP and Armut didn't choose the TP, and Elyoya actually didn't have the ultimate for a couple of seconds there. I missed it. Small mistake, but it doesn't actually need it for the dive itself. Carzzy's just over-committing. Gets one popped by Nisqy. And that kill goes off to Fnatic, so another mistake here from MAD Lions, you'd say. They're going to get the tier 1 mid, Humanoid's going to get the tier 1 top.
Tier 1 mid, of course, though, going to free up a little bit more control just around the map generally. Tier 1 top, not bad, but certainly not as important. That said, gold still very much in the favor of MAD.
Yeah, I think MAD Lions need to play more around Humanoid. He was pushing in top, maybe just giving him a little bit of vision so he could just take the tower for free. And if anyone was trying to wave clear, they could just look for a dive. I think playing towards mid is not really what you want to do when Humanoid's so far ahead. You want to get him involved in the plays, especially when he doesn't have the TP.
Really moving up to the top side, only level 10 here for Bwipo. Gonna grab what he can, the rest of MAD ready to move. Keep in mind, Elyoya has flash. Armut has flash as well.
This is more like it. Bwipo will have to face check.
Walking away again. Bwipo does not have flash, he has Ghost. This is an easy kill pickup. Shockwave not enough. Nisqy now gonna be in trouble as well as Kaiser goes for the collapse.
Here comes the dive.
Solar Flare goes a bit wide.
Doesn't have flash, but there's no wave for Elyoya. He doesn't have the ultimate either to disable the tower, and Kaiser's ultimate goes wide. So this is more like the playstyle I want to see from MAD Lions. Just push in mid and move towards this top side. Humanoid so fed on this Akali. Take top side vision, take away their camps, and whoever tries to defend the tier 2 will get dove. In this case, Bwipo's the one who gets punished, and MAD Lions will be able to pick up a Herald.
And you can see the gold tells the story of this game. It is domination a bit here coming in from MAD. It's been going better and better for them, and a bit as expected as these items are coming through. And the one really strong point we felt we could see in the early game was Adam on this Olaf. After that first solo kill, after the second solo kill, seemed to me at least that this Olaf would start to pull ahead, but Armut doing a much better job of holding his own, of keeping up the lane pressure here on the bottom side.
Still slightly behind Armut though, but I think one thing I want to just mention here is Bwipo has the Ghost on the Udyr.
Yeah.
Normally we see the Flash, and he doesn't have the Chem Tank, so he's gone for the Sunfire. So he does have that mobility in the Ghost, but their only real form of engage is a ghosting Udyr with a ball on top of him, with Lulu speed obviously. That's their form of engage to get onto Carzzy, who has Cleanse, lots of skirmishing frontline mobility on Humanoid and Elyoya and Armut. So Fnatic finding fights is very difficult unless Mad Lions overcommit, dive too deep or make a mistake. Whereas Mad Lions on the other hand, they can disable towers, they can flash ult you. It's going to be really difficult for Upset and Hylissang to clear waves later stages in the game. But for now, Mad Lions playing to side lane I think is the correct way to approach this early game into mid game.
And that's something that we saw them try to do against G2 for the most part. And while they weren't able to build massive leads like the one that they have now, they were able to maneuver around the map incredibly well. Can they do the same again here against Fnatic without some of the mispositioning mistakes that cost them so dearly in the G2 game? Kaiser waiting in the darkness, level 10, Bwipo, no flash. Carzzy immediately leaps in, they buy a bit more space. Bwipo now trying to make it out, but he's just stunned for so incredibly long. He's running as fast as he can, and he's gonna live. Bwipo gets the kill onto Armut. Fnatic are going to walk away with one.
I wonder if that was with Red Smite, because he does end up dying. You can see the damage Upset's outputting with Hylissang next to him. Mad Lions tried to make a pick onto Bwipo, but he's too tanky. Humanoid going for the 1v1 top though. Nisqy no flash.
Back to landed that he is massive. Good damage on Nisqy, trying to dash through, trying to finish the job. Not going to let him walk away this time, making up for Carzzy's earlier mistake.
This is what I'm talking about. Over a side lane, Humanoid can just dive wherever it tries to catch the waves. Even with Kaiser next to him, it would be even easier. Elyoya, so this 1v1 was just clean. Look, it's just a straight up dive with no wave. Humanoid so far ahead on this Akali. If Mad Lions play around him, this game would feel a lot easier. The mid play doesn't go in their favor, but Nisqy without flash can't really touch Humanoid. Didn't have the ultimate from earlier on, obviously. Used it to save Bwipo and take down Armut. Maybe if he had the shockwave there, he could have done a bit more.
Certainly. And as Humanoid works towards the Zhonya's, it's only going to get that much easier to make these aggressive plays to try to continue to push under tower. And keep in mind, Humanoid does still have his flash after all of that. And the ulti not too far off cooldown as well. Things going quite well for Mad across the board. 4K gold lead. Now, Fnatic happy to have gotten that kill back in the mid lane, but really need to find a way to cement an advantage in this game as the side laners, as you've mentioned so many times, Caedrel, are just pulling so far ahead.
Dragon spawning soon though, so those side laners will have to join a 5v5. You can see Humanoids already running through mid towards this Dragon, and by the positioning of Fnatic right now, I think they're just going to give it up. Maybe they can get a top tier 1, but I think Mad Lions will try to trade for a bot tier 2 or a mid tier 1, so they need to be careful not to overcommit to any objective, just get a little bit of vision and make some defensive plays here. They can't really force anything. Bwipo going for some camps. Humanoid might fancy looking for a 1v1. Armut has the TP, but so does Adam, and this is his weak side. He doesn't have much information here, but Upset might be isolated.
It's gonna be the dash through. Doesn't have the shuriken flip quite yet, forced to back away, but gets the immediate flash out from Upset. Huge advantage for the next 5 minutes in fights.
That's crucial. Humanoid's just kind of being a nuisance here. Fnatic want to take this top tier 1, and they want to get vision, however it might get caught.
Pulled back, but makes it into the Shroud just in time. Can walk up and clear this wave, and in the meantime, Mad Lions have broken mid-tier 1, and they're now setting their sights on mid-tier 2, knowing that Fnatic are late on maneuvering into the mid lane.
This is what we were just talking about. You can't overcommit resource on one side of the map when your mid lane's exposed. Mad Lions have Herald and they have mid push. Fnatic playing on only one lane top. They don't even get the top tier 1. Look at bot wave pushing in, mid wave pushing in. Upset trying to defend the wave top. Bwipo has to protect him from the recall because he has no flash, so Fnatic's tempo is absolutely in the pavement. Mad Lions just taking full advantage of it. That's 3 towers in mid almost.
Carzzy opting to go for a few auto attacks onto Adam. Maybe wanted to finish the tower there, but it's now Bwipo onto the flank. No ghost available, but can still try to zoom in instead. Just going to walk into the creep wave. And in the meantime, as you said, tempo in the grave. Armut already taken bot lane tier 2. Everything turning against Fnatic in that one. They were 4K behind moments ago, and now they're 6K behind.
Yeah, that whole sequence for 2 minutes was really not Fnatic favored. Upset lost his flash. They didn't get top tier 1. They got barely shallow vision in the topside jungle of Mad Lions. And Mad Lions get themselves 3 towers. They almost took down an inhib turret. It could have been 4. And Upset wasn't able to collect any of the creeps. He was able to catch top wave, but that's about it. So Fnatic definitely on the back foot after that play. And now Mad Lions have based. You can see Carzzy almost has that infinity edge. Elyoya just picked up the Spirit Visage. Everyone's getting towards those 3-item spikes. Whereas on Fnatic, they're barely finishing their second.
It's a really difficult position to be in, Caedrel. And I think, again, we've seen a lot of Akalis diving into backlines and one-shotting people. And when you're not ahead, or it's not super late game, normally that might not be an option. But if you can get a Baron, or in the case of Humanoid, if you're ahead of the clock on items, Upset and Hylissang have to be so careful here. Elyoya going over the wall, just leaping in onto Upset, trying to buy as much space. Armut goes over as well, but their attention is split. You've still got 3 members stuck in the pit here. Bwipo going forward, a bit of a scattered call coming in from Matt. Adam can just run straight into that pit, but I don't think he's going to. Elyoya flashing back over the wall. It is absolute chaos. Humanoid going back in, but it is the Baron over to the side of Mad.
Oh.
And now Humanoid just looking to style. That's Nisqy taken down. Humanoid still alive. Goes invisible, takes out Upset as well. It's the double going over to Carzzy. 1 kill going back to Humanoid. And now Bwipo's in trouble too. He doesn't have a flash. The ghost now burned. He has to run for the hills. Elyoya just looking to finish the job. Everything again going in the favor of Mad Lions. It was a scrappy fight, but they get the Baron, they get the kills, and they're moving into the mid lane.
Humanoid absolutely styling on Fnatic, dodges away from the shockwave and solo kills both of the carries of Fnatic. Yes, Carzzy was there to help. Hang on. Maybe Kaiser might die here. Adam does take him down. Humanoid versus Adam. Adam has a fully stacked Conqueror.
RuneScape dueling and Olaf, not the best choice, but the axe will go wide. That's going to be big. Humanoid can try to fire back.
Humanoid has the flash and the Zhonya's, but he doesn't have the ultimate, so decides to back off. They get the Baron, and now the thing is, Mad Lions, let's look at the replay. They start up the Baron for one big reason. Bwipo's playing with Ghost. He has no flash, so if they have vision on him, there's no way they can steal it. I think Elyoya wants to punish Upset here without the flash, but don't think Mad Lions could follow it. And then they just reposition. Elyoya's a little bit split. He does get collapsed on, so he flashes over the wall, and then they secure the Baron. Bwipo obviously can't get in the pit, then let's go Humanoid. Uses the E, and then he dodges away from the shockwave, and then E's back in and ults on both of them. Carzzy does join later on, but he was practically solo killing both the carries of Fnatic.
I mean, incredibly clean coming in from Humanoid. Mechanics have been pretty flawless in this one. Has the fallout from Carzzy, obviously one of the big strengths of the Kai'Sa. Can just follow you deep into enemy territory.
Oh my god, 5,000 damage dealt?
I think maybe this is too strong of an opinion, but based on the first 2 days of the LEC, I don't think Akali should see a 3rd day of the LEC. Maybe, just maybe.
I think you might be right on that one. Nuclear Int, VTO, and now Humanoid. Incredible Akali performances.
Yeah, 1 player pops off on Akali, great game. 2 players pop off on Akali, great game. 3rd player pops off on Akali, great game. Also balance concern.
Balance concern indeed, but now Mad Lions on the setup. 1-3-1, Akali pushing in top, Armut pushing in bot. And that means Mad Lions can control both side lanes and they can control mid wave. Now they have the option. Do they want to play towards top or bot? Looks like they're playing towards top, and Humanoids won't be wanting Adam, but Upset and Hylissang are around. He needs to be careful.
It goes back in, trying to get some damage down, but there's the wild growth. Immediate shutdown. Gold over to the Olaf. Well played by Fnatic. Humanoid a bit too cocky on that one, but in the meantime, his team is getting work done. That's going to be at least 1 inhibitor tower knocked down, so all is not lost there.
That's the advantage and the disadvantage of 1-3-1. You play on more lanes so you can punish overextensions, but you're very vulnerable because your resources are spread thin. You can get caught out on side lanes, and that does end up what happening. They get the bot tier 3, but Kaiser might fall as well.
Once he comes in, the health picks as well. Kaiser just getting run down here. There's absolutely no way to get away from this Olaf with so many movement speed steroids. Adam, an absolute monster if he's allowed to just auto-attack.
Yeah, Mad Lions getting caught a lot here with this Baron. They do manage to get bot tier 3, they almost got mid tier 3 and they got top tier 2. So a couple of towers for themselves. Adam gets a 900 gold shutdown. Kaiser also dies, so Adam got a lot of goals from this play. And Mad Lions kind of dropping the ball there on the 1-3-1. Just like I said previously, you spread your resources thin, which means you can play on lots of lanes. So if they overcommit onto one lane, the other 2 are just going to push in and just take your inhibitors if you waste too much time. In this case, Fnatic made a great play. And they punished Humanoid's overextension, but now Humanoid might want to punish Adam back.
Double TP now coming in, Armut on the way forward. Adam gets some good damage down, but there's no way he can win this with more health coming in. He's going to try to run to safety, the flash back out, the Gore Drinker to heal. Now Hylissang is in the area, the shield coming in, the Whimsy as well. He's running, but he might not be fast enough. He has to turn, and he will go down.
He's tanky. Hylissang's ultimate just came up. That's why I was slightly late. Adam does end up falling. Now, Mad Lions have a mid wave. And they do have a bot wave. I don't think they can end the game on that bot wave, so they might go towards mid here. Fnatic trying to stack here to make a pick. If they can find it. Elyoya doesn't have flash or ultimate. Humanoid pushing in waves for vision, and Mad Lions are going to focus his mid inhibitor.
No Baron, they've got an Orianna in the range of a Kog'Maw. They should not lose here if they do not overcommit. They've got more than enough wave clear with no Baron on the side of Mad, but Mad are strong and they are not scared. They're just going to walk right into the base. Solar Flame managed to connect. Kaiser now going forward. Bwipo going to be in trouble. Just barely able to make it out. Carzzy trying to finish the job, but he can't quite get it done. Upset now stepping forward, knows that he's uncontested for now. Armut having to dash back out to safety, but eyes on the Kog'Maw. Stepping forward, the damage is good. The team is there to back him up, and Humanoid cannot find a way into this back line.
Yeah, Humanoid didn't have ultimate up for this fight, so he couldn't really get involved.
TP
coming behind, that's Adam.
Bit of a slow, but it's not going to connect onto Adam. Adam now walking forward. Humanoid should have the tools. He has the ulti now. Has to use the first stack through a champion, though. Can't just leap out to safety. In the meantime, it's Cloud Drake going down Soul Point to the side of Mad Lions, but Fnatic realize this is not the chase they can afford to take.
Yeah, Humanoid's way too mobile on this Akali, and I think the shockwave from Nisqy was what won them that fight. Upset obviously kiting back, and they weren't able to get on top of him. Humanoid didn't have the ultimate. That could be a big reason as to why. And Upset was able to turn and chase down. He doesn't pick up himself up a kill. Bwipo taking down Armut. Humanoid again fighting Adam here.
Adam, good dodge on the initial shuriken flip means he did not get spotted out. The axe is now going forward. Humanoid goes to shuriken flip back out to safety.
If Humanoid wants to win that, he needs a little bit of healing reduction or a lot more ability power. Let's see what he picks up in base, because he must have a lot of gold to spend. Mad Lions do manage to get a bot inhibitor from all of that action. They've cracked open mid tier 3. Top lane still untouched, but Baron's up soon. 38 seconds until that. And I think that's where the focus is going to be. They're going to play towards his top side.
You saw Humanoid there. Sell his control ward, and then unsell his control ward, buy nothing, and leave base. So I have a feeling that he is very, very close to potentially a death cap or a Lich Bane. I don't know what he's going to opt to go for here.
700 gold.
Never mind, he has no money.
This is the thing. This is the thing.
He doesn't have any money. He can't buy anything.
If you can't buy a powerful item, maybe Blasting Wand is the limit. Just buy control wards for your team.
But he had a control ward, and then he sold it and undid it.
Maybe it's because his coach has been telling him, stop buying control wards, and he remembered as he sold it. Does end up picking up, and that just means that you have more pinks around the Baron to deny even more vision. So when the enemy team face checks, you can punish it harder. So Humanoid on the side. Upset has both summoners. He barely got spotted out there. You can see Upset just pinged where he is. Does get vision on him. Nisqy will know, but this Baron's just gone.
It is gone. Fnatic just cannot get into the area. They have to stay as a core, as a grouped up, just to avoid Humanoid diving into the backline. So just the Akali being in their jungle denies them getting anywhere near that pit. Fnatic gonna have to survive a second Baron in 3 minutes. When that buff fades away, they're gonna have to fight for the Cloud Soul or give it all away to Mad. Normally I wouldn't be concerned, except giving an Akali Cloud Soul, as if her being 616 wasn't already difficult enough, certainly feels like your backline has no way to survive.
Yeah, a lot of champions on Mad Lions' team with the Cloud Soul benefit. Renekton, Leona, Kai'Sa. Elyoya pushing in mid, trying to get the mid inhibitor. Mad Lions sieging towards his top side. Maybe Adam wants to find and engage.
Done under Armut, double dash back out alongside the Starbreaker. Now Carzzy's going to be in trouble. He can try to reposition, but only the enemy backline now. It is the death ball of Fnatic. They've got a Kog'Maw, they've got an Udyr, they've got an Olaf. They just keep running forward. Armut trying to dash to safety, but the polymorph comes out. There's no room. Humanoid wants to get something done, but his team is just getting slowly but surely shredded.
Fnatic keep finding ways to stall this game out. The Baron's been picked up from Mad Lions, but 2 members fall again. All they get themselves is a mid inhibitor, but that's not enough to put Fnatic too much on the back foot. I mean, they're just going to be able to farm up this this Kog'Maw, sorry, just got a shutdown. And he's only going to get tankier and tankier with this build. He has the Wit's End, now he has the Hurricane. 3-item Kog'Maw is getting scarier and scarier. Carzzy just picked up the GA. And Mad Lions on these Baron setups are just spreading the numbers too thin again. Fnatic just overcommit topside. Elyoya's pushing mid, and they get punished for it.
And the thing is that when you look at this composition from the side of Fnatic, they've just got so much shielding in the Orianna and the Lulu. That's what their gold gets them. Whereas, yes, Humanoid's going to get more damage, but if Fnatic just group up, make a death ball, make a 5-man unit, it's so hard for Humanoid to pick off an individual member. Udyr doesn't need to hit a skill shot to stun this Akali. Just A-click your way into a stun for free anytime Humanoid tries to walk into your backline.
Well, there's 1 minute 30 seconds on that Cloud Soul like you've been talking about. And Fnatic haven't really found control in the game in terms of getting vision and getting set up and being able to punish Mad Lions. All they're really doing is just engaging onto Mad Lions' poor execution in terms of overcommitments, and then netting themselves gold leads, and they're able to farm up. And they might be doing it again here.
Now trying to find Elyoya. Elyoya has to run for the hill. Shockwave comes out. Looks like the ball pulled back there. Bit of a tragedy for the side of Fnatic, giving up a major cooldown like that. Keep in mind, while Fnatic have been finding fights, Mad Lions remain very confidently in a gold lead here. 7K in their favor. 1 minute until that Cloud Soul. They're continuing to push in with this Baron buff for the last few moments.
Humanoid still has the Baron, yep, and he's pushing on that bot inhibitor. Mad Lions grouping up topside again. Can Fnatic find a similar engage? Shockwave should be up soon. It's quite low cooldown at 31 minutes into the game, but Upset lost his cleanse, so he doesn't have that for the next fight. If Kaiser can land a stun onto him, then Mad Lions can collapse. Humanoid, you can see here, just pushing in mid and bots, making sure both waves crash into the Nexus, so at least 1 or 2 people have to keep answering. This is another cannon wave for Mad Lions.
11 seconds on Baron remaining. Fnatic lose a fight here, the game is over. If they find a fight, maybe they can hold on. Armut dashing out to safety, but that's another tower taken down. No inhibitor towers left standing. Triple inhib would feel just like the end of the game, regardless of compositional strength. Fnatic 8K down, holding on Need to find a good shockwave, need to find good defensive tools to keep their damage threats alive.
They need to defend this top inhibitor. Fnatic are going to have to find an engage eventually.
Bwipo running out of mana. Humanoid off to the side, but they just can't overcommit onto the Akali shield, just dash away. It's a similar story for Armut. The flash out from Carzzy, though. No shockwave, and now Mad Lions want to turn. Mad Lions want to find the fight. Hylissang going to be in trouble. Forced to use Wild Growth on himself. Carzzy in the midst of everyone. Armut dashing through. Bwipo alive for a little bit, but it's just not enough. Mad Lions pull the trigger the second they see that cooldown used, and they find the fight in their favor. Adam wants to get something done, wants to turn, wants to burn. Maybe he'll be able to get Armut. Is going forward. The Gore Drinker coming in. The Olaf is incredibly strong if he can stick to a target, but Mad Lions are turning back. Nisqy caught out. He goes golden. Upset still untouched for now. Fnatic, can they hold this Humanoid in the midst of everything? Adam still going. Adam still alive. Upset and Adam versus the world. And it is Upset and Adam who come out on top. Carzzy and Humanoid waiting. Do they focus the champions? Do they focus the Nexus? The minions are here. Surely they should be able to finish him. Carzzy stepping forward. The damage is there. The damage is not enough. However, Upset has to run. He cannot retreat into his own base. Still, the auto attacks are coming in. Mad Lions, eyes on the prize. Adam leaping forward. The Nexus Humanoid finding one. Humanoid just needs to get something back, but Upset just walks back to the Nexus to make sure Humanoid cannot turn. The dash through. Humanoid going in. Hylissang is here. The Nexus. Oh, can he get it? One auto!
Whoa, that 2v2 went on for so long. Carzzy trading his life to get Upset low enough, and Adam tried his best, but Humanoid life steals up and just manages to take down the Nexus. Oof. And Fnatic, wow, they had to find a fight. If they lost that third inhibitor, then they would be hugging their Nexus towers for the rest of the game. So in the end, they tried to pull the trigger, but then Kaiser turns, Upset has to flash away, and from that point, Mad Lions managed to clean up, but that was a tense 2v2 around the Nexus. Mad Lions cleaning out the game.
And Caedrel, while those final moments are honestly just hype, overall that game was a Mad Lions game. They were finding so many picks, so many catches. Humanoid was an absolute monster, and of course the rest of the team was pulling their weight, no doubt in my mind, but that was still incredibly dominant from Mad. As close as that final fight looked, it was pretty much Mad dominance the entire game.
Yeah, I'd have to agree that it's Mad dominance. I think they made a lot of mistakes, though, kind of going for those mid dives unnecessarily, not playing around Humanoid, and then on the first and second Baron setup, just getting caught out a lot, right? There's a lot of things to clean up, but definitely they were in control of that game.
Absolutely were. Of course, you can vote who you feel had the biggest impact. Kia player of the game, at LEC on Twitter, Elyoya, Humanoid, or Carzzy. Solid options, most certainly. Normally, I try to sway the vote, but it's hard for me this time. Because on the one hand, Humanoid played great. On the other hand, he played Akali. I don't know how to feel about that.
EU Akalis, man. Is it just EU Akalis or something?
It's probably just EU Akalis. It's not the champion. It's the region that's OP. Can't nerf that. We'll soon hear from Mac before it's time for the LEC post-game lobby with Sjokz and friends. Don't go anywhere.
Systems are overloading. We can't risk another game.
We need to take a break and regroup.
We're starting to lose our mind. Captain, we cannot go back to Elo hell. Last time it took us months to get out of it.
Initiate break protocol.
Hurry up!
Yes! Yes! I did it! We did it! We did it!
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
And welcome back to LEC Summer 2021. MAD Lions show up strong against Fnatic tonight in our match of the week. And Mac, thank you for joining me for this last interview of the day. What did you think about this game? How was it from backstage?
Well, from here, I think we did a really good job of executing mid-game rotations. Like, I think the game really fell apart for Fnatic around the second Herald play that we made, where we kind of just took like everything on the map and they got nothing. I think we got mid T1, mid T2, bot T2. I don't think they got anything. And from that point, it's really hard for them to play the game because our carries are just so far ahead.
Yeah, to mention the carries, who would be the player of the game for you here?
I think it's pretty hard not to give it to Mr. Humanoid Brazda.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he popped up so much on this Akali, and Drakos was saying, is it the player? Is it the champion? What do you think on that? Is it Akali that's too strong or just Marek that's too OP?
Akali's looking pretty good at the moment. I would say that Marek is a little bit more OP than Akali, though.
All right. Well, how was this game compared to yesterday, though? Because it looked like two different versions of MAD Lions in one sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think yesterday we had a comp that was a lot more difficult to execute. In this game, we had a lot of go buttons, you know, we had a lot of ability to just jump on people's faces and kill them. Whereas yesterday, we were playing much more of a poke-oriented comp, I would say. We weren't exactly sure about how that interacted with Viego, so it was kind of new territory for us. But I think we still played it relatively well. It just fell apart around the third dragon. Like, they have that one really decisive fight where we're a bit late on the objective and we walk in slightly too late and go too aggressive, and then the game is like exploded, right? Like when you're playing a poke comp against a team that can like pressure you with Nashor, it's really, really hard to actually play the game. So they just got too far ahead off of that.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned the different comps that you've been trying over the past few days, because you also told me during the pre-game interview we had yesterday that you've been slowing down on Scrim to give your players some time to rest. And I want to know what makes you feel confident to try out some comps that you may not be used to playing, even though you didn't have that much time for scrimming.
I don't think that they were necessarily comps that were out of reach in terms of our players' comfort on the individual champions. Maybe yesterday's comp was a little bit difficult to execute in hindsight for a first day back in the LEC, but actually we feel that we already have a read on the meta that we're pretty confident with. I think we've been fortunate in that we, like, a lot of the champions that are in meta are just champions that we are good on. Like, if you look at our drafts today and yesterday, I think we had a lot of comfort kind of across the board. So that's really positive for us, and that's been good for us. But yeah, I think we've done a good job of adapting, and a lot of that is down to Pad and Cass, who I think have done a fantastic job. I'm actually stuck in quarantine at the moment because of the new legislation about entry from the UK. So those guys have been taking over, and I think they're doing a really, really wonderful job. So full credit to them for the performances that we've been showing this week.
Right, I'm going to follow up on that if you don't mind. Isn't it hard for you to just do your job while you're being quarantined?
Yeah. Simply put, yes. But I think one of the strengths that we have at MAD is that we have a really well-developed coaching staff, and this is something that we're really prepared for because of that. Because even, you know, during spring, there are very often days where Cass would run scrims, and so he's prepared for that. And because of that, we're able to, you know, if someone's burnt out, if someone has a family issue, if someone needs some extra time off for whatever reason it happens to be, we're very comfortable swapping in and out. And we all have very, very clear strengths that I think complement each other well. So because of that, it's really not been an issue at all. It's been a really smooth transition.
All right, well, very nice to hear, and it echoes to what all the players said about the MAD Lion coaching staff and how they've been praising you being able to adapt in any circumstances. I have a last question for you, more about the league in general, because with the roster changes we've seen within some teams and the meta right now, what do you expect from LEC this summer? Which teams are going to get stronger, weaker? What are the expectations here?
I think the obvious big winner is Vitality, who look much better now on paper and actually in game. I think they looked pretty decent so far for a team that has not been playing together for long. For the other teams, I think there are a lot of teams that made like very high risk decisions, but I don't think it's unreasonable to make high risk decisions right now, given that, I mean, there were teams in the case of, for example, XL and SK, who were quite open about the fact that they didn't feel like they were meeting their own expectations. So they would rather like take a risk and build for long term than keep doing what they were doing, which they didn't feel was working. So I would say that some of those teams will be weaker in the short term. It's hard to say with SK right now because obviously they have like their own situation going on. But I would say for now, like usually teams are weaker when they've just made a lot of changes, right? So I would say in the short term, the teams that made changes will suffer, but maybe it'll be better for them long term.
Yeah, and it's going to make for an interesting summer season anyway for us as viewers. But for now, Mac, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on winning the game today and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we're going to take one last break and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with Post Game Lobby with Sjokz, Caedrel and Guldborg. See you soon.